Today we are covering 13 explosive projects ready to 22x, from Solana and Base Memecoins to ETH and also PulseChain gems, all primed to bounce harder than anything else once Bitcoin recovers. These aren't just hype plays, they're high conviction setups backed by early momentum, fresh narratives, and also thick on-chain narrative. Some of them are down bad now, but that's exactly why they'll rip the hardest once BTC flips green. Here's what's on this show: Solana and Base memes with massive upside, under the radar coins flying under ETH, PulseChain planes ready to melt faces, what I'm buying right now, and also what I'm gonna skip. If you're serious about catching the next leg up, this is a video you cannot afford to miss. Don't fade these red days. This is where the real money is made, so you need to watch this now. And don't forget, I warned you Bitcoin was gonna pull back. Now let's start with one of my favorites and one of the most important ones, which is Popcat. Popcat, from our bottom entry into the next major target, which is going to be its new all-time highs, will be making a 22x trade on a very liquid 10 million liquidity pool. Besides Fcoin, this is one of the most important meme coins on chain. This is a crucial level that acted as support and resistance. Look, resistance here, all throughout the April season. Then major support turned into support all throughout May into 2024, also support in July, also support in August twice, and then support in January 2025, then turned into resistance, and now support again. This is the main line for Popcat. And I believe from here, we either see a small correction, in a worst case scenario, back to 265 million. And so if you want to trade it, there's Axium down below, stack some limit orders there. But I do think you can buy here at 371 and also 341, and you should stack some limit orders there. This is a very high liquidity coin. You can trade this with size, obviously. The next resistance line is going to be a mere 80% away at 653 million market cap, because this was major resistance all throughout April and June, and also resistance in August, and then turned into support twice all throughout 2024, then turned into resistance again in 25 of January, and this is going to be our next major level. Once this gets broken, I just think there's really not much resistance all the way into all-time highs. Then after all-time highs, we'll see a new all-time high, I think, on Popcat on 2.79 or 2.8 billion market cap. I think this is very possible, and I do believe this will happen this year to Popcat. Look, if you believe Bitcoin is going to make new all-time highs and you don't think Popcat will, I mean, are you even thinking straight? After Fcoin, this one is one of the most important meme coins, and this is going to be, I think, one of the most obvious trades once it gets going. So now let's go on to the next. This is a brand new play that's at 6 million market cap. Everyone wants an entry because this one has a ton of momentum. Then obviously there's this 4 million level. Then there's also this 3.2 million level, and I think these are the fair value gaps for this coin. Now, obviously, you shouldn't be buying here because wave 1, wave 2, and we just witnessed wave 3. 9 out of 10 times, the third wave marks the top. Especially if you look at volume, it's decreasing. It's not even making new all-time highs on higher volume. Now, the entries, I think, are these. I think this is the accumulation range, 3.2 and 2.7, because major resistance here, and this was major support level twice. I think the price can go here on a worst case scenario for a good bounce, and you probably can double your stack once this thing comes close to new all-time highs, maybe do a little bit more, but I do see the price coming here. Another level that the price can go to is this 4.1 million market cap range, because resistance here and then turn into support. So this can also happen if the coin is really that strong. But what I think is most likely is touch the 4.1, bounce, and then go and touch this one, accumulate, this turns into resistance, and then the coin goes. That's what I'm seeing on Moonpig. Pay attention to Moonpig, okay? Brand new, super explosive. Let's see what happens. Coins with momentum are usually the best trades after they've done their first extension. I think we can see this as an entire first wave. Let's see what happens next. Then we have 𝗘𝗥𝗧𝗏𝗏, another one. I didn't update you guys on 𝗘𝗥𝗧𝗏𝗏 because there was nothing else to say. Higher and higher lows, and I do think it's going to hit our target of 35.32. It's just on its way there slowly. To be frank, if the price gets here fast like tomorrow, I'm just going to take slice of profits, just a little bit, because we've been trading this one since a million market cap, I think, or 3 million market cap right from here. Just going to take a little bit more profits, and I'm going to let the rest ride. And I do think the next target is going to be 50 million market cap, just because 5 zeros, 1 0, 2 0, these are the places, mental places where people will usually take profits. I don't need fib extensions here because I will be offloading everything then after the 32 million level at 50 million, and then we'll see what happens. But it's looking great. Bitcoin is looking very, very good. Now let's get on to the next. MFR, wow, exploding. I hope you grabbed some. Look, the price did come into my range. Again, tap on the back. I hope you're watching my show. I told you, do not buy here. Wait for the range. Resistance, resistance, 1 times, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. Then turn into support. Then turn into support here. This was also a major level. Look, it came into our level. All you had to do really is this. Come on, Axium. Base the contract. Click limit. Drag right here. And you would have scooped MFers, and you would be up basically anywhere between 2x to 90% on your trade right now. All you have to do is click the link down below and start using Axium and start using limit orders. This is 2025. This is no longer the time to buy 50k market caps and 100k market caps, because if you do, you will lose all your money. All these other YouTubers, all these other guys telling you to go on Memescope or on Pulse and turn that into your major strategy, they just want to farm you. Okay, I actually want to teach you guys useful ways to trade. So again, I gave you guys a perfect entry on MFers, and I do think this coin is going to be explosive and it's going to be a great trade for all of us. Now on to the next. Another one that we've nailed. See, these brand new plays, remember that day where I only showed brand new plays like Trencher? You always need to be rotating into whatever is that we have on the weekly, because usually these coins last 2 weeks maximum if they are very good, maybe a week, and you need to catch the momentum. So don't get stuck in stuff that's in the past, like for example SSE. Forget about SSE. It didn't give us the trade. Okay, same with Colette. Didn't give us the trade. Forget about them. On to the next. You need to be always on to the next, and you need to rotate because you need to catch what's called momentum. Look, now Trencher has momentum, MFR has momentum, Moonpig has momentum, 𝗘𝗫𝗥𝗧𝗏 has momentum. If you want to trade slowly, buy stuff like Popcat, which does not require this much momentum because it's already established at a low market cap. So Trencher here, things are looking good. The only thing I would add is this trend line. If this trend line gets broken, I do think there's a chance of a retouch of this line. What I mean by that is if the price comes here, it doesn't hold, I think it can come to 4 million market cap. If this 4 million market cap doesn't hold, I'm out, okay? If it gets to 3 million, I'm done with Trencher. But I do think it's going to bounce here and make new all-time highs. Look, beautiful channel here for Trencher. It's ascending slowly and slowly and slowly. I hope you got it because I told everyone to buy at 4 million. We're now at 8. Basically a double, but we're not here for doubles. We're here for like 5x's and 10x's. And I do think Trencher is on its way to do something very, very, very special. Just have patience. Now, lore. A lot of people, what about lore? This was the accumulation range. This is why I didn't talk. A lot of times I'll give you guys the entries, the supports, and then I'll wait a few days, let them hit, let them bounce, and then I'll update the chart because there's really not much to say on stuff like, for example, lore. Lore is looking bullish. I gave you guys the entry. This was designed here. Look, we were still here in the green. And I told this trend line, if it gets broken, we're going to go into this accumulation range. It got broken. There was no need for an update. Bam, we went here and now accumulated. And I think we're going to go to 5 million next. Why? Because 1 million is a level, 2 million is a level, 5 million is a level. Same thing when you add a zero. 10 million is usually metal level, 50 million, another metal level, 50 million, another metal level. So usually around these levels, you don't need to put fib line extensions. If I start seeing this thing have a ton of momentum, like Troll, for example, then I'll plot fibs to know how high this thing can go in terms of like 40 million, 30 million, to be just a little bit more precise. But I'm still bullish lore. I have lore, and I think it's going to go higher. Don't forget, I was trading lore here as a small cap. I gave you guys at 200k. We did go to 4 million, and I said the level to take profits was 2 million, and so you should have taken profits on this one. But I do think right now it's a great buy. Lore is this website where you can come and you can track and analyze all of the trends and see what influencers are buying. So 𝗘𝗥𝗧𝗏 now bought this thing called 𝗘𝗫𝗖𝗛𝗏. Whoever J is has 0.4. Mr. Frog has almost 1% of this Mr. Skelly thing. These are the top trending ones. And so this is what we have here on lore. I think it's a great place to see what's... Oh, look, fastest runner. The other websites don't have this. Highest gainer, fastest runner, etc. Now, on to the next, Dino. Remember Dino? I told you guys, do not FOMO buy this candle. Do not FOMO buy the top. Wait. A lot of people were FOMO buying. I saw some messages, I think, saying, oh, you're sidelined. I'm buying. Okay, let's see how it turns out. Always stick to the strategy. This is my strategy. These are the main levels, this one, and I'm just gonna wait. I do think Dino is gonna come here and then bounce, and I'm gonna buy a lot if it comes here. Now on to the next Fcoin. Fcoin is still very similar to Popcat. It seems like it's doing nothing. It's just bouncing around this major level, which I drew when we were down here. Worst case scenario is you see this trend line here, this blue trend line. If you extend the trend line, worst case scenario is it comes here, this turns into resistance, and then breaks out, and then it goes. But I think that only happens if we see something like an 85k Bitcoin, which is possible, but maybe Filecoin will just be so strong that it's not even gonna go that low. But that's what I'm seeing on Filecoin right now, just bouncing off of that level, not doing much. Once Filecoin gives a nice signal to the rest of the market, because it's the highest liquidity on-chain trade, twice as much liquidity as Popcat, the rest of the market is going to be pulled by Filecoin, the meme market, the AI coins, etc. Then one that I was very excited here, I scooped this low and sold this high on this coin called VVV, which is Eric Voorhees' AI project, where you can come here on VVV and use it and ask anything, like thoughts on CoinTalk show on YouTube. You know, and it gave us his thoughts. This is basically ChatGPT, but more decentralized, and you can ask him about what happened in Tiananmen Square and, you know, about all of the weird stuff, so it doesn't censor you. I think it's a good project. I think it's underrated, and it's now bouncing from the support. Resistance here in March, resistance here in the 12th of March, major support in the 3rd of February 2025. This is the level, and from here you can get a 2.3x, basically 2.3x on your money on a deep liquidity, 8 million in the pool. Okay, deep liquidity. So if you want to trade size, if you want to trade 200k, 100k, etc., these are the coins for you. Okay, just be patient, buy quality and buy in size. Then we have Mog. Not much to add. I told everyone to sell here. This was the resistance, major resistance all throughout February, major support all throughout from May, June, July, August. It was the major support. Previously resistance here in April 2024. This line is the most important liquidity line for Mog. Then we have this fair liquidity gap, which was previous resistance here. It bounced from the fair liquidity gap. This is a bullish fair liquidity gap. Once this thing gets broken, once this line gets broken, it's going to go straight into 480 mil, very close to 500 million market cap. Another deep liquidity, 9 million in the pool. Very good trade if you want to trade size. Definitely one of the best on Ethereum. But when it comes to Mog, everything is happening as predicted. I told you guys, buy here. Everything here was drawn like on the day. Sell here, and now I think it's going to bounce and rip. On to the next Purr. I need to update Purr. This is a very important coin. A lot of people are getting impatient. Be patient. This is a liquid 8.5x on Hyperliquid. Okay, Buddy gave us a trade. Liquid gave us a trade, and now eventually it's going to be time for Purr, but it's a little bit more liquid, so it might take a little bit more time, but it's also safer. This is the Premier Mirror on Hyperliquid, Premier Meme on Hyperliquid, and it's going to give us almost 10x, so just be patient. It bounced twice. If you want to get a Hyperliquid trade, you should be praying for that third touch. If you get it, do not miss it, because it will bounce. Now on to the next, we have PulseChain. Remember, I said don't buy here, don't FOMO buy. This is the resistance. It came, broke above, it didn't hold, and it's doing exactly as I drew. I think it's a good buy today at 200 mil basically, and our target for PulseChain is still a 10x, now a little bit more than a 10x, but this is probably also going to do similar to Popcat. It's probably going to do a 22x, maybe even a little bit higher. The PulseChain is looking very good. Richard Hart is almost having all of his issues fixed, already won against the SEC. Very smart guy. The main PulseChain whale called 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and his whale friends, they're all just shilling PulseChain every single day massively. So the number one guys on other coins, on other altcoins, are they like promoting them daily? Are they working for their bags daily? Do they love the community like Rackham does? I don't think so. This is very bullish. When the number one whale, the number one guy that sacrificed something like, I don't know, $20 million, something crazy like that, maybe even more. But that guy is every single day showing his Lamborghini and saying like, hey guys, PulseChain is awesome. And he's funding the community on a bunch of other projects, which we can talk here on the show later on. When he's working that hard, to me, this tells me that this community is not going to go away. I do think PulseChain is a good buy here. Remember, I told you to scoop the lows. I told you to avoid the resistance, and now TA is telling me PulseChain is a good buy here. It's a good coin to accumulate. It has decent liquidity. A lot of you guys will be left behind on this one, not me. And then finally we have Ink. I think Ink will outperform PulseChain and PulseX and Hex, because every single time PulseChain bounces, Inkcoin, the incentive token, which is a token I think that you get paid from PulseX rewards, which is basically Uniswap fork, this incentive token is always outperforming PulseChain and PulseX when they bounce. So I think this is going to be a good play. And if you chart Ink from here till the top, you get something crazy like a 60x plus. It's actually more than a 60x. You chart this thing from here into the top. If you think Bitcoin is going to make new all-time highs, and if you think these meme coins are going to explode like Popcat, Fcoin, which are already moving, I can tell you, PulseChain will make new all-time highs. And once it does, this thing will be sort of the hidden secret rocket gem. It has decent liquidity to PulseX, and I do think it's going to outperform PulseChain and PulseX. Once they make new all-time highs, this thing will probably just go into this billion market cap range, find some resistance here, but all the way until the top, we're talking a 60x. And these other altcoins like XRP, etc., are not going to give you 60x, but Ink can. So just be patient on this one. Again, I hope you have enjoyed this show. If you want to join my private, you will have to do it via my Axium link, because I want only traders, legit traders, people that generate volume, that are actively trading weekly. This is the best platform for trading on-chain, anything on-chain, AI, meme coins, decentralized exchanges, really anything in crypto, even privacy projects. So you have to start using Axium. Again, there's a link down below. Start using it. Start layering your limit orders like I told you on MFR, which was another banger trade. And I will see you guys tomorrow with more alpha and with even better trades. See you.